dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to The Mixer, the segment on this channel where I give you guys all sorts of detailed analyses from all walks of life. I'll talk about people, places, animals, sports, the whole 9 yards, hence why it's called The Mixer. I mix everything up here, Been a while since I've done The Mixer. I've been focusing more on what's the damage lately, and there is a reason for that. One of them is because I have much more mixers than damages, in the playlist, and also I'm going to be starting to do a lot more of the mixers, in a little bit, because I'm going to be doing something very specific towards sports, and there's going to be a lot of mixer videos. But still, the point is that I just want to change it up a little bit, and also give you guys different kinds of content, But today's video is going to be a bit more, let's say, it's going to be a little bit more on the educational side, because I'm actually going to be talking about something that I've been sort of sitting on for a while. I have done this video many years ago, back in 2019, and I'm going to be revisiting the topic today because I'm going to be talking about something that I think is really interesting, our very own real life version of Wolverine in the animal kingdom, an animal that is literally invulnerable to anything and pretty much cannot be killed by natural causes. Mother Nature cannot kill this thing. Maybe you can if you, I don't know, step on it or something, or pour acid on it, but if it is out there right now in the world, in nature, nothing can take down the water bear. That is what I'm going to be calling it. It's obviously not the scientific name, but it's a coin that was actually term that was actually coined by a German zoologist back in 1773. Yes, that long ago. And it was actually known as a little water bear when it was first described, because that's what it looked like, because it's kind of like a small and plump. But then there was an Italian biologist in 1777 that actually came up with the scientific name Tardigrade, which is what it's actually known today. The scientific name is a tardigrade, These things are actually very, very small, and it's kind of funny because they are usually about, like maybe 0.5 millimeters long, or, 0.020 inches long. I don't know how to convert it that way, but that's when they are fully grown. They're very, very small. You can actually pretty much only see them, through microscopes, because they're so tiny, and they have 4 pairs of legs, so they kind of do resemble a little bear. And they also have claws at the end of each little leg that kind of ends in suction cups, which kind of makes it, almost like Spider-Man, like little, why Spider-Man? Why didn't I just say regular spider? Like regular spiders climbing very hard surfaces, So yes, it's pretty, it's not very intimidating, You can usually find them in mosses and lichens, so they are very, very small and almost like bacteria, They feed on plant cells and algae and other small invertebrates, So they aren't very, very, when you look at them through a microscope lens, or photos, they don't really look very blah. They are kind of ugly, I will give them that, they're not the most attractive of creatures, but because you can actually collect them and view them under low power microscopes, they're actually very accessible to students and researchers, like amateur scientists. So that's essentially what it's like, and it's very, very hard for you to come across them without actually knowing it, because their habitat usually, like for example, if you take a piece of a piece of moss and soak it in water, you're going to come out with a bunch of tardigrades without even knowing it until you put it through a microscope, They are very, very prevalent where there's moss, so if you are anywhere near moss, it's a good idea to stay away from them, But other environments can be, for example, dunes and coasts, like generally, I don't know, sometimes soil or leaf litter as well, or marine and freshwater sediments. They can be found pretty much anywhere. They are a very versatile species, essentially a bacteria that takes over the environment that it's in, It's a very interesting animal, and they can actually occur very frequently, in freshwater sediments, where there can be anywhere to about 25,000 of these tardigrades per liter, which is about like 95,000 of them per gallon. So that is a lot of little water bears just swimming around there, So now one of them, there is one specific species that can even be found in barnacles, and that's even more disgusting. It's really gross, And the fact that it resembles a little teddy bear, with its little paws, it's actually kind of cute, but at the same time that it's cute, it's also ugly, if that makes sense. To illustrate the point just a little bit more, I'm pretty sure you already saw a photo in the thumbnail, but here are a series of more microscopic photos of the water bear for you to take a look at and see how ugly it really is. as you can see, they're not the most attractive bunch to look at, you know. That's just my opinion, you know. Now, the largest ones can grow up to 1.5 millimeters, you know. Those are the largest adult water bears, and the smallest ones can be about 0.1 millimeters, you know. When they are hatched, when they're born, they can be about the size of grass pollen, you know, which is several zeros of inches, you know. I'm not even gonna try to read that. Now, the thing is that these water bears, this animal here, and the reason why I'm recording this video is that they are known to be one of, if not the absolute most resilient animal on the planet, you know, because they can survive literally anywhere. For starters, you know, remember when I said about their habitat? Well, those habitats can be found in the most diverse regions of Earth's biomes, you know, so, biomes. It's freaking Disney Starlight Valley. Earth's biosphere, sorry. So they can be found in mountaintops, you know, or even in the deep sea, or in tropical rainforests, even in the damn Antarctic, you know. You can find this thing, you know, on the top of Mount Everest. You can find it in the Challenger Deep. You can find it in the Amazon rainforest. You can find it in freaking, you know, Antarctica, you know. They are everywhere, and they can survive everywhere. That's what the crazy thing is, you know. They are actually very, very, like, if you really stop to think about it, this animal is literally immortal because it cannot die by natural causes. I'm sure it does eventually, like everything grows old and stops existing, you know, but throughout its lifetime, nothing can kill it. I think that the only way this animal perishes is if its life cycle ends naturally through the course of its age cycle, you know. So eventually it can grow old and die. But basically, any individual species can survive very extreme conditions, you know, included but not limited to extreme temperatures. So it can survive very, very freezing cold temperatures, like several hundred degrees below zero. It can also survive, you know, like melting hot temperatures several hundred degrees above, how can I say, above, I don't know, like it can survive hundreds of degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius, you know, so it can survive in like a molten lava pit, for example, you know. It can survive in a fire, also extreme pressures, both high and low. So it goes to a place where there's a lot of crippling pressure, like the bottom of the ocean. It can survive. It doesn't affect it. It can go to the top of Mount Everest, you know, where there's very little to no oxygen. It can survive, you know. The pressure doesn't affect it at all. That's actually very scary. But the scariest thing is that it can also survive air deprivation. So it doesn't need oxygen. It can survive starvation, so it doesn't need food or even water, you know. Dehydration also, it doesn't need food or water to survive, man. It can survive, it can literally survive starvation and dehydration, you know, aside from everything else that I've been saying. And also, it can even survive total complete radiation, you know. So essentially, if you throw this thing, like, I don't know, in a nuclear power plant like in Chernobyl, it's gonna survive and come out unscathed. Nothing can kill this goddamn thing. It is literally impervious to everything. This thing is impervious to life, you know. The planet cannot freaking kill this thing. It is literally unkillable. Like I said before, it's Wolverine. It is the Wolverine of the animal kingdom, man, you know, because all of the things that this water bear can survive would kill most of other forms of life. And I haven't even gotten to the craziest part yet. It can even survive in the vacuum of space. If you eject this thing past Earth's atmosphere and into the cold blackness of space, it's still gonna keep, you know, just floating around chilling with its little bear paws and wiggling its belly, you know. Nothing can kill this thing. You can even put it out of the planet and it's still gonna be alive without having to eat or drink or defecate, you know, or even breathe oxygen for that matter. I don't know why. Scientists can't really explain how this works, but it really, literally is a real life Wolverine, you know. I think that there are certain people who would literally kill for this, you know, because holy crap, man. And it's crazy. And there are about, you know what, I'm going to cover this in the next part here because I actually got to catch a breath here. Let's take a look at something else here, maybe some more photos or maybe a video, if I can even find a video from like a laboratory or something. Let's just do the transition here. Now, as far as scientists know, right now there are currently over 1,300 known subspecies of the tardigrade or the water bear, you know, which falls into different subcategories such as nematodes and also arthropods, you know, arthropods. Sorry, I hate pronouncing that word. And the earliest known members of this actual animal species comes from Cretaceous amber, which science puts at to around like 145 to 66 million years ago. So that's essentially the earliest known origins of this animal on record, you know, in history. And a lot of it was found in North America, you know, while the exploration was still very rampant there. But there has been sort of there's this overlying consensus that they are essentially modern life forms, you know. However, they probably do have an even earlier origin than the Cretaceous, you know. Like they might have actually diverged from their closest relatives in Cambrian, which was, at least according to science, over 500 million years ago. So the water bear is actually very, very crazy. And the Cambrian is actually this it was the first geological period of the Paleozoic era, you know, so it's all getting sciencey. But the thing is that this animal here truly fascinates me, you know, as a person who does love the animal kingdom. And when I was a kid, I was very fascinated with certain animals. I used to watch the Animal Planet a lot and also the Discovery Channel, but back then the programming was vastly different than what we have today, you know. Like back then they actually had really cool shows, and the first time that I ever even heard of the water bear was in this thing called Animal Planet's The Most Extreme, which was my favorite show at the time when I was a kid. I really did love animals and researching, learning about them, studying them, you know. I was always really excited to study science in school and biology for this very reason. And this was the first time that I ever heard of it, and they made a very cool montage showing how it works and how it can survive in very extreme conditions. And that actually got me interested in recording this video for my YouTube channel once, which I'm doing again now. I'm remaking it, and I'm even wearing the same shirt because I have a whole new setup now, you know, compared to how it was the first time. So yeah, guys, I think that's essentially it. There was something else that I wanted to say, but it's gonna get way too complicated and scientific, so I'm just gonna let you guys essentially look up this animal for yourself if you actually are interested. But hopefully I gave you some good information, you know. Sorry if I had to keep, you know, referring to my cheat sheet. It's because it's a very scientific video and I didn't want to make any mistakes, so I had to read almost directly from what I have written down here, you know. But hopefully you enjoyed it anyway. Hopefully you learned something new. This was informative and educational and also enjoyable for you guys. I like coming here and occasionally give you some, you know, nicely well structured video like this. It feels good. And that's it, guys. That's it for now. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this video, and if you happen to like it, please go ahead and give it a like, and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day. And while you're at it, do hit the notification bell as well so you can know exactly what time I upload, and it's all good, baby. It is all good. Imagine being a water bear and knowing that you literally can't ever stop existing until you want to or something. But can they commit suicide? Maybe they can. They probably hold their breath. Wait, they don't actually need oxygen. It would probably suck to be a water bear, but anyway, that's it. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next very educational or non-educational video. Roll the immortal, unkillable outro screen.